YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys two of my favorite runs inside of this Seattle Seahawks playbook. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So let me actually be a little bit more specific when I say my favorite run inside of Seattle playbook. So I'm actually talking about out of the trips tight end offset formation. And the two runs that I want to go over in today's video is going to be this RPO buck alert and the RPO trap alert. Now I know you guys might be saying, "Real, I already know about this play. I've seen people run it. I've seen it ran against me. I've seen some of the pros run. I've seen some of other YouTubers run it. Why are you choosing this play to talk about?" So the reason I'm showing you these two plays because I want to show you guys how you need to incorporate these two plays if you want to have the success that you see other people have out of it. So what do I mean by that? I mean, I want to show you guys when you should run the RPO alert trap, what defense you should look for when you want to run it, and the same thing with the RPO buck. I'm gonna show you what you should look for when you want to run this play so you can have the most success out of it, because this play is not good against everything, just like this RPO trap alert is not good against everything. And by the end of today's video, you're going to be able to understand when you should run each one and what scenario you should run each one in. So hopefully you guys lock in so you can actually get a lot of valuable information out of this. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So we're going to start off with RPO alert trap. And for the defense, I'm gonna be coming out in just 3-3-5 wide, just your standard, so you can actually because more than likely this is what you're gonna face regardless with zone drops and all that. But this isn't needed for that, so I'm just gonna come out something like cover 3 buzz, just so you can get the gist of what I want to talk about. So what most people would do, you have two setups people do. So most people will either they'll just spread their line and may crash them up right, left. They may do one of the variations, but you may get somebody that plays like this, where they they just spread their line basically. Or you have people who will actually slide their line. Now most people will slide their line and just kind of stand right here, because most of the time you can actually blow up this inside zone. A lot of times if you stand right here, I believe it's right here, and you try to ID, let's actually go to inside zone, see if we do that inside zone. Now the reason why people do that is because it'll blitz their user. Now most of the time if you stand right, you can come right here. Now you see how we were able to blow up the inside zone even though he was ID. That's why most people will actually stand right there in that spot. So for the remainder of the video, I'm going to kind of simulate that by just manning myself up to the running back and just standing right here. So this is when these two plays are important, when people are blowing up your inside zone. So when should I actually run this RPO alert trap? So anytime you face zone coverage, you would want to run RPO. Now I'm going to show you exactly why. Now you see how we have him ID'd. Now what we're going to do is just be able to attack right here up the gap. Now the reason that this works is because the user will not be able to shoot down on that, because they won't be able to blow it up essentially, because they're going to run right into the lineman because of how the blocking scheme is. So he's not going to guard him. So what a trap means is the trap means that this defender right here, he's coming free. Well, the person in front of him is not going to block him, and actually this guard is the one that actually comes around. So what's going to happen is he's going to come upfield, and then this guard is going to come what's called kick him out, which means he's pushing him to the sideline. That creates that gap right there. That's what trap means. So the reason I was telling you that is because more than likely this is going to be the user right here, and when that's the case, they're going to have a lineman blocking the user. Anytime you have a lineman that's forced to block the user, they won't be able to blow that up. So to try to simulate that the best I can, I'm actually going to try to blow it up myself, and I'm going to stand right here. Remember, this is where we stood on the inside zone. Now I want you guys to pay attention to something. Even right here, I don't even have to ID myself because of how the blocking scheme is. So let's say I wanted to ID hold on, let me get out of the control. Let's say I wanted to ID somebody like let's make it realistic, I guess. Let's say I wanted to ID somebody like, I don't know, him. I would say, I don't know. Let's just say him, okay? So let's say we try to make it realistic, right? So what you're going to notice is that because of the blocking scheme in the play, you see how I won't be able to shoot that gap? And then, of course, if I can't shoot the gap, more than likely that means that our opponents are going to pretty much get a big chunk play, or us. We're going to pretty much get a big chunk play because he won't be able to shoot the gap, if that makes sense. So anytime it's any zone coverage, then that's what you need to look for when you're calling this play. Now, also keep in mind, you also have circle as an option too. So if they're not putting a hard flat out there, then what? We can actually just take that and then we can just throw that right there, get some nice blocks, gain about 5-10 yards if they don't want to put hard flat. So that's why this play is so lethal. So anytime you're in zone coverage, you want to throw this. Now, let's say you probably might be thinking, real, okay, what if they actually man align just like this? So they're still playing zone, but you see, if you look at it, it kind of looks like man coverage. So if we kind of pull up the screen like this, you might be thinking, oh, hey, that's man coverage, and then they might slide their line like this, and now they might stand right here. And you'll understand why I'm kind of showing you what man align looks like. So just so you can understand, we can actually still run this even if they man align, unless they got Kenny Clark at D tackle, just throwing my lineman out the way. But more than likely under normal circumstances, you're going to be able to run that. Now let's actually take a look at man coverage, and this is why I said this is where you need to actually understand what your opponent's doing. So let's set it up the same exact way, right? And what you're going to notice here is that man coverage versus RPO is actually not going to be that successful. You kind of seen the gap there, but you got a picture that the user going to be there too. So to simulate that, I'm actually just going to do it myself. It's probably just a lot easier that way. But this is not the ideal versus man coverage, because what most people will do, they'll probably play, you know, maybe a coverage show, maybe something like this, right? So let's actually go ahead and ID myself. Go ahead and snap the ball right here, and what most people will do is they'll come down, and actually more than likely you're going to be able to make that play. It's just kind of harder to show in practice mode, but it's not the most ideal versus man coverage. The most ideal play versus man coverage is going to be this RPO buck, because it's literally designed to beat man coverage, and I'll show you that here real quick. So let's say we do the same exact setup, right, just like this. And now don't worry, I'm actually going to spot my safeties in a little bit, which nobody would ever do. But as you can tell right here, we're just going to have a big old gap that's created because this is designed to beat man coverage. So I'm running the game versus man, but I want you to pay attention to something right here. So I want you to pay attention to who's responsible for who. So you see in this particular formation, he's responsible for the tight end, and he's not doing anything. So I'm actually going to spy him. And I'll put him in the purple because most people will probably put him in the purple. And then maybe they'll have a cover show that looks like something like this, maybe, you know. So what you're going to notice here, he's responsible for the running back. He's responsible for the tight end, right? So what that means is that the tight end is going to come off and actually block his man, and he's going to get just pretty much washed down, basically. That's pretty much what's going to happen to him. And it's going to be very, very tough on the user to actually make a play on this because of the numbers game. So if you pay attention, you see we have one tight end blocking, we have another lineman. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen, and then now take a look at that left guard right there. You see how he's pulling over there? So that actually gives us 5 linemen. So that gives us 5 blockers versus how many defenders on that right side. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how we got 4 defenders over here? But we have 5 linemen coming over to block because he's not really ever going to get there. So we have the numbers. That's why we call this play versus man, because we have the numbers. Now right there was a terrible read. I should have went outside. So I will run it again real quick, and then I'm actually going to talk about a couple more things, and that's going to be the video, because this video is just meant for you to understand when should you be calling this play. Because yes, it's a great run play, and for those of y'all that don't know, yes, it's a great run play, but if you don't call them versus the right defense, you're not going to have that much success out of it. So let's go to RPO buck right here, and more than likely it's going to be outside. You can tell right here, more than likely it's going to be a one-on-one with the safety no matter what. So if they have that safety in a spy or a purple, then as long as you can make that safety miss, you're going to be to the house. Now just to kind of show you how true this is, let's actually just audible to something like nickel 245, right? So this will kind of represent big nickel over G. Maybe some people might crash the line. It's kind of hard to represent that because big nickel, everybody slides, like when you crash your line or you spread them. So let's kind of just, I don't know, let's try to pinch our line just like this, and let's kind of just simulate exactly what we talked about. So let's actually go with RPO trap, which is not ideal versus man coverage. And the reason why, as you can tell, I mean, right here, the holes are nice. You know, you're probably saying like, real, it looks like it's ideal, but in game, it's not going to be that typical, I promise you. Just if you know they're running man coverage, what you want to run is going to be this buck every single time. This will force your opponent to not be able to play man coverage. So let's actually go to 245 real quick. If I can get my buttons right. So let's actually go to man coverage. Let's just run it just like this, man. Let's just put it like that, and we'll just see exactly how it looks. So you see we got the buck right here. Now just pay attention how things line up. So you see how right there the tight end's actually gonna block, and now we have a one-on-one with the safety. Maybe make a miss, and you're potentially to the crib. So again, that was actually a great example showing you guys exactly what happens whenever you run the ball and how the blocking affects him. So you see right here, that's his man. Now this right here is going to be his man, the running back, but watch what happens. The guard's actually coming around to kick his man out. So that's why I said this play is so great, because now the tight end, what he does, normally he's going to block and then he's going to release and go get the safety. Right here, as you can tell that he does. And what that's going to allow him to do is basically just save time for this lineman to come around and pull. He's going to take him out, he's going to block the safety, and then at this point it's just you and the user, because more than likely this is going to be the user where they click on. So at this point we're already 10 11 yards down the field. So that's why I said this play is extremely good. So if you get anything out of today's video, and also one thing I do want you to understand too is that even if they play man coverage, for whatever reasons you guys may already know, a lot of you already know, some of you may not know, you can still throw this bubble out here. So don't be scared of that. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good example right here. As you can tell, we're still able to throw that even if we get a dump. And a lot of times you will get that dumb out animation where we still get about 5-10 yards when you should technically throw a pick six because it's man coverage. So again, just for a quick recap, because like I said, I wanted this to be a small simple video. So do let me know if you kind of like these small simple videos where I break down things that are kind of meta and just explain to you why they are meta. But to break it down real quick, anytime you see any type of zone coverage, even if it's man to line right here, as you can tell, even if it's man to line, if you believe it's zone, then I want you to run this setup right here, zone or match. Okay, because sometimes match it is man, but it's primarily zone. So just kind of test it out and just see, because different ones play different depending on what side they're playing match coverage on. So that gets a little bit more technical and not for this video specifically. So use that one at your discretion. But any type of zone you want to run RPO, any type of man coverage that you get, no matter what the shell is. So they can play a shell like this if they wanted to, and you'll still be able to have success. Or, you know, of course, maybe they'll do something like that and you'll still be able to have success. So any type of man coverage that they throw at you, you can always run RPO buck alert, because you'll always have the numbers. And again, I'll even show you right here. So let's say they do something like this, maybe. Let's say they do something like this, and let's say they don't slide their line. So let's actually get on this guy right here, and I'm going to show you that we're still going to be able to have success out of this, because he's going to go and pick up that safety, and now again you have a one-on-one with that safety, and then you get some type of dumb out animation, and then you're to the crib. So that's how you see these YouTubers, or you see your favorite streamers when they run this play, or they're audible to this play, why it's so successful, because of how heavy man coverage is in Madden 21. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just going to give you a quick breakdown of why people like this play and when you should be looking to run this play. I hope I was able to explain it the best way I can. And just comment if you got any questions or anything. I love answering you guys' questions. Again, I'm in the Seattle Seahawks playbook, but you can actually just use this with any playbook that has trick, tight end, offset, because just about every single trick, tight end, offset has this particular play in it. So anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell, and I'm out.